Bulls Radio Lounge. Bull and the Bartender Show. The November 24th edition. 1 week or 2 days, actually 1 day before Thanksgiving. Welcome to the show, Bull and the Bartender Show. But Mark the Bartender had some family coming in, so he won't be joining us tonight. And then Jazz had some family come in as well. So, welcome to the show. I am joined right now, if our satellites have connected correctly, by Rick Danford. Are you there, Rick?
Yes, sir, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Man, wow. That's amazing that hamsters are still running. You know. So on the phone, hopefully now, Rick, I know we had you last time, and I maybe I forgot to mention, and I apologize, that if it was cool to stay throughout the entire show. So, the invitation still stands. If you would like to stay for the entire show, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think I just misunderstood last time.
No, it's cool, man. No worries. Because I think Matt the Savior is going to join us as well a little bit later, and then we have Andy. I hope I pronounce his name correctly. And Rick, help me out if you don't mind.
Andy Lolino.
Andy Lolino is going to be on the phone with us via Zoom at 8:30. We'll talk about some of his movies, things that he's done in the past. And he's like an independent guy, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. He does some independent film work. He also is a writer himself. He's written several articles for a lot of big magazines. And he and I have a long history, and I'm sure we're going to be getting into a really cool debate that I'm hoping you'll kind of be the judge and jury of.
Okay. What is this debate called?
I really don't know what to call it. Basically, Andy's this old school guy that doesn't believe that any movies should be made past 1983. He hates CGI, doesn't like remakes.
Oh, really? Okay. I got you.
And I'm of the thing that, hey, bring it. I'll judge it myself.
Yeah. That's fine. That's cool. We'll do that. And hopefully with our other hamsters that are running the other side of the board, they'll be able to link up to another Zoom call, and hopefully we'll have 4 people at the same time.
Nice.
So hopefully all that will work out to our favor tonight as we dive into the independent Hollywood, if you will, of the dark side of things. Did you realize that there was a dark web, by the way, speaking of dark side of things?
To tell you the truth, I've heard rumors of it. I've heard little things here and there. I have no idea how to even see something like that or exactly what it was all about, but I have heard.
Yeah, we talked about that on the Social Reload show, and we talked about the dark web and some conspiracy theories and stuff like that. So, are you into that as well, or
as far as conspiracy theories?
Yeah,
I've heard my share of them, and I'm definitely a person that has his doubts and stuff. But I don't know. I'm kind of open for almost anything, but you got to prove it to me.
Got to prove it to you. I got you. So you're not you don't have to see it. You have to see what's going on, right?
Exactly. I need a little tangible evidence and stuff, but I'm definitely open.
That's cool, man. And it's one of those things that a lot of people think that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, if you will. But I'm the same way as you. I think I have to see it to believe it. I have to see what it, they have to come down. But, we probably have to get into that with him and see what he thinks. See what he thinks about Area 51. I don't know. Get into some movies.
Area 51 definitely is there. As to whether it houses what people say it does or not, that's up for debate.
Aliens, my friend. Aliens. That's where Independence Day was filmed. So
that's right.
Yeah. Did you know that they when they filmed that, they actually built almost a duplicate model of it. They had to have things, placed by government officials.
Really? I had no idea about that part.
Yeah, yeah. They actually had people come in, like military officials, and go, "No, that cannot be there. You have to change this, but add that," because it
Oh,
almost, they're going off sketches of what it might look like. You
of what it
know,
might look like. So in other words,
yeah,
they kind of came in and said, "Look, that's supposed to be there. Not that it really exists, but if it did exist, that's
right,
really right."
yeah, exactly. So if that tells you something, I don't know what does. Well, what was that? Was that a car horn?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, that must have been coming through my end because that was, I don't know, very weird. So yeah, that's what we talked about on the other show, which some people thought that I was a conspirator or a conspiracy theorist guy, but I don't think I am.
Hmm.
I don't know.
No, I think you're like me. I think that you're open to the idea, but unless somebody proves it to you, then you're not going to believe it.
Yeah. So what is? Let me ask you this: what is the most? What movie have you done that's probably been the most sci-fi-est? You had the Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Is the creature from the Black Lagoon really considered sci-fi, though?
I think so. I mean, it's kind of a mutant type of sci-fi-ish movie. I mean, X-Men sort of considered as sci-fi.
X-Men?
Ah, yeah, X-Men.
Yeah, I could see X-Men. I could see that.
So that's still in the realm of him. He was sort of a mutant type creature.
Yeah, but he existed here, and he was in the Black Lagoon, so I lean more towards that being horror. Sci-fi, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but sci-fi to me is something from beyond, something that's not natural or not supposed to be here.
Okay, so basically, like Swamp Thing or nothing like that, or Creature of the Black Lagoon would not really be considered a mutation.
Yeah, because that's something that exists here and was created here, whether it be by radioactive waste or evolution or whatever. It still is something that belongs here and is from here. Now,
Uh,
if the thing dropped from outer space like the Blob, that could be considered a sci-fi because that's from outer space.
so you so mu- boy, I can't believe I'm having a comic discussion. Um, so X-Men, are they mutants or are they what? I mean, those are sort of like not really normal, if you would say, I guess.
Yeah, I guess if you pay attention to I guess the movies themselves or whatever, I believe they're all from here. So if they're all from here, they're pretty much just mutants. They're kind of like the next evolutionary rung. So it really wouldn't be sci-fi. I'm not sure what that would be considered. I don't know, to me, it's a gray area. It really
Uh,
is.
have you done a really deep like horror, sci-fi film, like kind of pushing the envelope?
Um, Not yet. Well, we just did a short film for a competition, a creature feature competition,
Uh,
and the short film is called The Foretelling. And
okay,
it's about these three women who are basically witches, and they use an Ouija board to kind of summon something from another dimension.
right.
So, I mean, that could, I guess, could be considered something like that. But as far as sci-fi or something like that, no. But I'm definitely open for that. I would love that. I was just watching Cowboys and Aliens before I called in, so that's about sci-fi.
You have never seen that before?
Oh, I've seen that plenty of times. I
Oh,
love
okay,
that movie.
really? You like that much? Cowboys and Aliens?
I really liked it. Yeah, I really did.
Oh man, I don't know. That was, I mean, it was okay for the first time. You
I
know,
liked it because I'm a Western fan, and even before the aliens dropped in, that was turning into a halfway decent Western. And then they threw the aliens in there, and I like those kind of things where you take something and it wasn't like they jokingly did it. It wasn't like it was a goofball movie, and then you threw aliens in there. It was a serious Western that was
right?
played seriously, and then they threw these people into that weird situation. I've always been a big fan of something like that, taking two different worlds and putting them together and see what happens.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always a good crossing over. But I'm just saying the way they sort of portrayed it, it was sort of, I don't know. Harrison Ford didn't really fit that character of a hard ass pushover bully type of type of guy. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah, he did seem a little out of his element there, but he's a great actor, so he's able to pull it off. But I would have liked to have seen somebody else in that role.
yeah. Who would you see else?
Oh, there's so many people that could play a hard ass like that. That would have been really good. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Michael Shannon. Do you know who Michael Shannon is?
No, I haven't not heard of him.
Yeah. Have you saw what is it? Superman, right? The new Man of Steel.
I think so, but it's been a while. I think.
Okay, he was the main bad guy in that. He's been the main
Okay.
bad guy in a lot of big movies. If you once you see his face, you'll
Right.
know who he is. You've
Right.
seen
Right.
him.
Okay. I got you.
You could see him doing that. But Daniel Craig, the guy who played James Bond, I thought he was good
Okay.
in Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah, he was badass. He was sort
Yeah.
of like this sort of lonesome, kind of searching for, whatever he was. I think he was looking for whoever killed his wife, wasn't
Well, yeah, but all the way towards the first half of the movie, he didn't know who he was, didn't know his name,
it? Yeah.
didn't know what he was doing, but he was kind of, I guess, the memories were coming back to him as it was going.
Right. Exactly. And he had that bracelet on, and he had no idea what it was. And then the
Yep, couldn't
Harrison
get it off.
Ford, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It was a different role for Harrison Ford, I thought. And
Yeah, I
then
can agree with
the scene where he was they're all in the steamboat, you know.
that. Oh, the upside down boat in the desert.
Yeah, I think they could have cut that out. That's that could have been on the floor.
Yeah, there's a couple parts they could have cut out and stuff, but overall, I thought it was a fun movie. I mean, it was like I said, it was different. I
Yeah,
like
it was
when you
different.
experiment and do something different. I give them extra points for stuff like that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you've got great actors in there. You got I can't remember his name either, but he played the doctor, wasn't he, in that
Oh
movie?
yeah, Clancy Brown, love
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah. The great actor. He played the Heist. Have you seen Heist?
Ooh, no, is that new?
No, that's old. That's
Heist?
Heist. That's with oh man, the guy who played the football coach. He played an admiral. He played
Hmm.
he played oh man, I can't think of his name now. He played Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh yeah,
Gene
I saw that.
Hackman. Thank you, Chewy Rocks, the executive producer of the channel. Gene Hackman. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. And it was the oh man, what is the girl's name? She played in the Bruce Willis movie um, with Red 2. I
I
don't
saw
know.
Red. I don't think I saw
No,
Red too.
no, Red. It was Red, the first one with Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
The female girl in there.
the old lady,
Yeah, the one that was controlling what's his name?
Helen Mirren.
Yeah, the real skinny girl.
Oh, I'm not sure who that is.
That was the one who was telling him the other guy what to do, the CIA guy what to do.
No, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but
Oh,
that
yeah,
was a cool movie.
she played in that one as well.
Hmm.
And it's
Sounds
basically there, and he played this. He was working for Danny DeVito,
Oh yeah.
and they tried to screw him.
Ah.
Yeah, so
Let's go over Danny DeVito.
no, Danny DeVito tried to screw with Gene Hackman.
Oh.
So Gene Hackman, got back really good with him. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So it was a good movie. I can't believe you've seen that Heist with Gene
No,
Hackman.
never even heard of it. I gotta look that up.
But really good movie. And the just the language in it, the scripting,
Mhm.
is sort of like that 19 sort of 40s gangster type talk.
Mhm.
But it's not really. It's kind of like their own language. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, Matt the Savior is joining us. Let's see if he works. Matt the Savior, are you working? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. How
Oh,
are you
there you
both?
go. Are you on the air with Rick Danford?
Hello, Rick.
How you doing, Matt the Savior?
I am the savior. That's what they call me.
Nice. We could use a savior.
So we
That's what-
were discussing the movie Heist. Have you seen Heist
I have not actually.
with Gene
Ah,
Hackman?
there's
Oh,
yours.
jeez, wow. Nobody's seen Heist.
To be fair, if you almost any movie you ask me, I'm probably gonna say I haven't really seen it because you know me, I'm a programmer. I make music, whatever. I'm always doing something. I can't sit still like that. So like I've got kids and I try to do that with them. I pass out almost immediately. Like it's my nap time. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I've always been like that. Like I just can't sit still.
Yeah. I mean,
So.
it's, you know, watching a movie nowadays is kind of, especially in this time, in this era that we're living in now, it's, I think everything is going to go, I do believe that the theaters are going to go away, to be honest with you.
Yeah, way in the dodo. I think you're right.
And I think that it's going to be more digital. It's going to be, everything's going to be uploaded, streamed.
Subscription streaming service.
All that jazz,
I don't know about the theaters though. I mean, the theaters that's big money stuff, and they're tied into the movie production. The bottom line is that these companies that make these movies, they're not going to make the kind of money that they've made from the theaters. They're not going to make that from the streaming services. So they're going to keep theaters around in some capacity. What we may see pop up more in place of theaters is drive-ins. I think that's going to have a resurgence.
Do you think drive-ins are going to be like popping up somewhere again?
Yeah, because people want this distance. I think he's right.
Yeah, I think they still want the stuff on the big screen, which you can get with the drive-in, but yet you can still do your social distancing by being in the cars, and it's kind of like an old school retro feel. So I think that's going to be popping up a lot more.
I tell you, I do love a drive-in.
Yes, I remember from my young days. Yep.
We still got one up the road, and I can bring in my alcohol and just kind of hang out and watch a few movies, and it's a great time.
It is. And nowadays they have it where they play the sound of the movie through your car radio, so you don't have to. See, I'm from back in the day when you used to have to crack open your window and hang one of those big metal boxes.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
I remember those. Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. Now you can do it through the radio.
Yeah, you just tune in. Yep.
That's how I've never been to a drive-in, and let me rephrase. I've been to a drive-in. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me too.
Long time. I'm talking about probably when they had those little cans of like he was talking about, those speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, it's been that long, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. So
the fun one's right up the road, man. You tune right into and because they don't pay attention and or don't care enough, I leave one screen when it's over and I just pull up to the next because there's going to be a movie starting in about 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, look at you.
So I'm over here. I'm watching movies all night if I'm going to do something like that. And I only paid, the $5 or something to get in? It was stupid. I mean, not like a theater today. You walk in for $100, and then you still haven't even bought any refreshments or anything,
Well, that's the thing. That's why theaters were going by the way of the dildo, whatever you call it. Excuse me, you know what I mean. But that's they were going away as far as I was concerned.
You can't do that when I take a drink. That was hilarious.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
I only went to the theaters when like one of those really big ticket movies that I really wanted to see on the big screen, because at the end of the day, you're paying $15 to get in. Then you go and you get a popcorn, you get a Coke, whatever it is. You're looking at $50 to sit there in a theater to watch the what do you call it, a screen when you've got 15 people in front of you with their cell phones up and people talking throughout it. It's like
Exactly.
I just couldn't stand it, man. Unless it's a movie that I had to see on the big screen, I'd wait for streaming or DVD.
Absolutely, and I agree with you.
It's a dildo.
Because it's a dildo. It's a dildo dealing with these people in this damn theater. You're not wrong. It's the worst part. Like I don't even mind spending the money if it's worth the time. However, it hasn't been, because you're right. You got all these rude people sitting next to you, in front of you, jumping around, saying this or that. Talking to each other about the movie. You know what I mean? And you're just like, shut up and watch the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, I paid this money. I want to see this movie.
Right, and it's terrible. So they've started adding where you get food at your, brought to you in the theater now or whatever, to try to make it more enticing. And now you're just paying 3 times as much as you were before because you're ordering an entire meal of something. And they want to make it seem all fine dining or something. They want it to seem, I don't know. It's so silly to me. It's so crazy.
But then when they have the people coming over to take your order and to bring you your stuff and ask you if you want more, you're being interrupted from the movie you're sitting here
from
to watch.
The movie. You're not wrong.
It's not like you can hit the pause button,
Right.
I gotta tell you though, are you talking about the ones where you can eat in the theater?
Yeah, those are popping
That's
up
what
like
I thought.
crazy.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. Like I've eaten the one at University Mall over there,
Yeah,
and I've done that quite a few times, and I had no problem with the food. I had
I'll
no
tell you my
problem with the
problem with
service.
that one is they don't know how to adjust their audio. Like they have the bass blasting to the point where those speakers were blown by my second or third movie going. Like it was terrible.
Oh yeah.
It was terrible. They just blow the crap out of the speakers. They're like louder is better, and it's not necessarily true. Like I don't disagree with you in one way, but I mean, at the same time, like it can definitely be too loud. You got explosions going on and stuff like that. You can't even hear when you get out of this damn thing. Anyway, so they were irresponsible with their audio, and they ticked me off with that. Also, they're bringing me a flatbread pizza or something like that I guarantee you microwaved, but they're trying to sell it for like $15 or something like that, and they're trying to decorate it like it's something special, and you bite into it and it's microwaved something, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm over this. I'm done. I just paid even more money. I was like, it's gonna be worth it now because there's food coming to me and stuff, and I can drink a beer while I'm watching and stuff. They're gonna bring me a beverage or something.
Whoa!
And
what the hell are you smoking?
What are you talking about?
You're on like a roll. You're shot out of a cannon.
Well, this is why I don't see movies. Like, first of all, I'm gonna fall asleep, and second of all, you haven't made it worth it for me. I'm just gonna wait for it to come on a streaming thing. I'm gonna pass out on my couch while I watch it. That's what's gonna happen.
I can completely agree with everything he said. I mean, I get so frustrated with stuff like that, and you're right. You're going to pay that extra money for food that is microwave processed or whatever it is, and it's just not worth it. It really is. I'd much rather sit on my couch, pause when I got to get up and grab another beer, and not have to worry about anything else.
Exactly, and nobody ruining it for you or something. Oh, I've seen this already. He's about to come out the woods. Shut up, bitch! I haven't seen it yet. Oh, drives me crazy. Y'all got me on a rant.
Yeah. That was a rant. All right. That was
what the dildos going on here?
Dildos going everywhere.
Oh man. I don't know what happened. That Matt just like, went off the rails. Like,
yeah. We start this conversation off. I go, I don't watch movies. And here's fucking why.
And it's all clean too, so I can reuse that on a replay. Wow, that was well, I have no idea what happened to you, buddy. You were off the chain with that one.
I get passionate. What can I say?
You do. You are
the Bulls' greatest hits for sure.
Yeah, that would be the Bulls' greatest hits. Matt the Savior goes on a rant about how he hates movies. Stupid movies.
Stupid fucking movie. And it's not even the movie's fault. You can't blame the movies. It's the people trying to make money on the movies.
Stupid theaters. Overpriced popcorn.
Damn theaters. I don't know, man.
Did you ever?
That's how I feel about it, though.
Did you ever get the popcorn and just put a whole bunch of butter on it?
No, I don't, because that's you just feel that after a while, and then your hands are all greasy. It's just, it ain't worth it.
Ugh.
I used to back in the day.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
We all did as kids, I would say.
Yeah, it was,
and then you learn, sodium and cholesterol.
Heart attack.
I don't even know if you think about it like that consciously, but subconsciously you're like, oh yeah, heart attack.
Yeah, defibrillator.
Also, I feel gross. I don't want to touch anything.
Yeah, exactly. I can't eat popcorn anymore. It tears up the whole works.
I do. Well, I can enjoy some popcorn. Let me tell you, that's a good midnight snack. But I'm making it, and I'm not dousing it in that oily fake butter. What do you have like a?
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing.
Is somebody hitting like a?
No, I think Rick, you may have to.
Is it the timer on this thing?
No.
That one was me. I just lowered all my media volumes and stuff, so if people send me notifications, it won't beep through.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy crap! What?
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell's going on. I was like, man,
my mind was blown, sir. I go, are you giving me the wrap it up button?
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm thinking like something's wrong with the board. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? I'm like, oh fuck.
I just tried to. I silenced everything except the volume on so I can hear you guys. So I'm hoping we don't hear anything else.
You ever hear about the duck? Being on the water and how calm he is in the water, right? Well,
no.
No, you never heard that analogy.
I have not. No.
Oh.
Is that a thing? I think you just made that up.
No, it's sort of like it's an analogy of like everything's cool and calm in the water, right? But underneath those feet are like, battling.
Going ham. Yeah.
At that point, when I heard it the fourth time and you heard it, mine were about 50,000 times that much. Because I was freaking out with the board. This is the only board I have left. Can't break this board.
Well, hopefully it doesn't happen anymore.
No. So we went through Matt's rant.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah,
y'all got me started.
Show.
That's on you.
So on the Bull and the Bartender show. So we're supposed to have Andy, and I'm gonna the Andy Lalino, right, on the phone at 8:30. Does he know how to go in through the Zoom?
Yeah, he's got Zoom, and I sent him the message you sent me, so he should be good.
Okay, cool. So whenever he pops in, we'll do it that way. Let's do this. Let's take a break real quick, and then when we come back, we'll hopefully have him on the phone, and then talk to him for a little bit about his movies, what he's done, where he's come from, his mansion,
where he's going,
his Lambo,
his
$150,000.
Is this mansion nicer than mine?
Huh?
Is this mansion nicer than mine?
Probably.
Damn,
I don't know. I'm still in the bunker.
$150,000 mansion? What kind of mansion is that?
I don't know. Maybe there's $1 million. Who knows?
I've got 3 Ferraris. How many does he have?
I don't know. How many does he have? We'll talk to him next. Andy Lalino, stand by. Bull and the Bartender show. Don't go away.
With a little bit of lapsang souchong. I like making my own tea. My, it's a beautiful world. I like driving in my car. I roll the top down, sometimes I travel quite far. Drive to the ocean, stare up at the stars. I like driving in my car. All around is anger, automatic guns. It's death in large numbers, no respect for women or our little ones. I tried talking to Jesus, but he just put me on hold. Said he'd been swamped by calls this week and he could not shake his cold. And still this emptiness persists. Perhaps this is as good as it gets. When you've given up the drink and those nasty cigarettes. Now leave the party early, at least with no regrets. I watch the sun as it comes up, I watch it as it sets. Yeah, this is as good as it gets. Oh my, it's a beautiful world. I like sleeping with Maureen. She is one sexy girl full of mystery. She says she doesn't love me, she likes my company. For now that's good enough for me. Oh my, it's a beautiful world. I like swimming in the sea. I like to go out beyond the wide breakers, where a man can still be free, or a woman if you are one. I like swimming in the sea. wish I never let you go that far away. And I know this ain't forever love, but let's talk about today. Okay, the fan base gone, but our fam gone too. If it ain't nobody saw him in the lab, where you? Baby, where you? If it ain't nobody saw him in the lab.
Radio Lounge, Bull and the Bartender Show, November 24th.
Take the night, niggas sit back like we taking flight. Two-step to the sound of the night. With me, I ain't got long, so let's make it right, baby. Take advantage.
Welcome back
Bring the phones at home, cause it's on 10. And I hope I'm right. This that song that I hope you like. This that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. And I hope I'm right. This that song that I hope you like. This that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. Everybody dancing, but I just wanna dance with you. And everybody moving, but I just wanna move with you.
All right, so thank you for joining us back on the show, Bull and Bartender. Mark the Bartender has had some family come into town. So is Jazz. So they we're doing this show 2 days before Thanksgiving. On the phone with us as well is Rick Danford.
Yes, I am.
And Matt the Savior, but he might be helping out somebody in the bunker, the mansion next door to him. So he'll be joining us here soon. But don't forget to check out No Sleep Tonight. That's Rick Danford's hit new show on YouTube. Brand new, No Sleep Tonight. A full cast. Go to No Sleep Tonight radioshow.com for all your merchandise, everything you need. I mean, listen, if you want a t-shirt for No Sleep Tonight, Rick will get it for you.
Make it happen.
So check him out, No Sleep Tonight, youtube.com. Rick Danford is the producer, the director, and the writer of No Sleep Tonight. On the phone with us, speaking of a star-studded cast on the show, we have Andy Lalino on the phone. How are you, my friend?
And I'm doing well. Thank you for this invitation to be on the air with you.
All right. No worries. We're sort of like, I don't know if you listened to some of our shows before, but we're sort of kind of a laid-back type of, like a kind of a guys type of show, So, we talk about, life and, whatever else you want to talk about.
Well, I noticed you were playing Colin Hay earlier.
Yeah, I met him, actually.
Fantastic. That was a good tone to set.
What's that?
That was a good tone to set.
Yeah. I was working at a top 10, I think, or top 1, I think top 10 or top 5 radio station here in Tampa, and he came in live in the studio and played a couple sets, and I actually got to hold his guitar. So, yeah, and I was like mere inches from him holding his guitar while he was sitting down and getting set up. So
he seems like a really friendly guy.
He is, but he doesn't want to be like, touched. He doesn't want to be, too much talked to. You know what I mean? He just wants to do his thing and do what he does, and that sings, and play his guitar and have a good time, and he's just a cool guy, The one thing I did notice though is that he polishes his nails to almost like a pick, configuration. You know what I mean? And what I've learned is that that's how he plays the guitar. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a, kind of a pick. You know what I'm talking about?
I guess that makes sense. I mean,
yeah. So
plays and
yeah, he was a really good guy, and one of the memorable times there at the radio station. So, anyways, Andy Lalane, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Lalino. I've been notorious of horribly, mispronouncing people's
No worries.
names. But thank you for joining us. So let's start out with this. When did you first start kind of getting into movies, and at what time and what age were you sort of like, I might want to pursue this?
Well, I knew what I wanted to do very early in life. One of my first loves as a kid was comic books and watching. I don't know if you remember this person. Do you remember Dr. Paul Bearer? He was a
Oh
horror
yeah,
host. And,
yeah.
Rick's probably got a similar story, but we used to watch his show Creature Feature on WTOG, Channel 44 here locally. And I used to read comic books, and that got me interested in art and being creative. And, I saw the movies that Dr. Paul Bearer would show on Creature Feature and said, that's what I want to do. I mean, that you can't beat that kind of entertainment. It's just, live action or animation, stop motion. That's where I want to go. And so I pursued it. I have a degree in motion picture production, and I've been able to do projects. Thank the Lord in those fields, and I'm very I'm always happy for those experiences, and really enjoyed myself on this great road of life.
Yeah, it's always cool to meet interesting people, especially like yourself. I've met sort of kind of a handful of people throughout my 4-year, work history with a radio station, and so I met one of the most iconic ones. I think was ICP. I met them kind of. Do you know who they are?
Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andy, do you know who that is?
I've heard of them.
Okay. Yeah, I met them, and they were really cool. They were
They're kind of crazy guys, don't they? Like dress like, or they put makeup on, kind of
yeah,
like Laura
yeah,
Kiss.
yeah. They
They're insane.
So, but yeah, I've met them before, so they're really cool, and they're really a nice group of guys. But and it takes a good person to make a career out of this, because this is what you're doing, this is what you're pursuing, and this is what you're passionate about. And that stands out to me.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So you got into acting. I mean, you got into prop building, and I'm a prop builder as well. So are you doing a lot of independent films? Are you doing motion picture films, or?
The last project I worked on was, and Rick was involved in this project as well, called Nation's Fire. It was released in 2020, released this year, by our good friend Krista Grotti. She is the lead actress and executive producer, and it's an action movie. It's a drama. It's got a little bit of gore for horror fans, although it's not by any means a horror film. But
Right.
I was proud to be a part of that production. I'm sure as was Rick. And working with Krista again, it's always fun to work with Krista Grotti, the actress that I mentioned. We've worked together, I think, in every single film, starting with my first film called Filthy, back in 2004.
Filthy.
So, and we're good friends. I know Rick is good friends with her as well, and we just have a really, good, strong community here among the actors and filmmakers and creatives.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah. Filthy was a horror short that Andy made. It was really, really good.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, I haven't heard of it, because I don't know if you know who Joe Wynkoop is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. He's a good friend of mine, and we've worked on a couple different projects. He's sort of like kind of getting me into all this indie, filmmaking stuff. People and actors, and Rick Danford as well. Because I asked him if he would join us, and he did, and he brought you on, and I appreciate that. So it's always cool to meet somebody that's part of the indie film as well. And how do you like USF media?
It's great. It's kind of an independent type of station in a
Yeah.
way. And, I know Bulls Radio does a lot of good programming, and they got a lot of good personalities on the campus. And yeah, just a fan. I've kind of been involved in different, you know, a lot of different media. I was just thinking about, you know, my life, and you know, between radio and filmmaking and
Yeah.
television. I used to work for the Home Shopping Network,
Oh wow, really? Okay.
and dabbled in a lot of TV, and
How's
you,
that?
I mean, you name it, I've done it. Sports and this and that, and so I'm kind of like a poor man's Howard Stern, you know, kind of a king of all media, so to speak.
The king of all media. That's good. That is good.
The popular of all media.
Yeah. How is Home Shopping Network? Is that sort of a crazy, you know, kind of switching props back and forth type of deal, or?
Oh, well, you know, when I worked there, it's been a while since I've worked there, but we did a lot of their commercials, not so much their live show.
Okay.
But I did know the live people, and yeah, there's a lot of that. And you know, I know prop builders who work for Home Shopping, and lighting guys, and
Yeah.
yeah, they hustle, and they always do a great job.
Yeah, it's crazy when they're trying to get all that stuff done. I used to do that for Busch Gardens.
Did you?
Yeah, I was a tech and a stage manager over there. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. My dad, my father worked there from 1974 to 2000. He was
okay.
the assistant musical director there.
Oh wow, really? All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how they have things set up, you know, in these theme parks where it's like, you know, different sounds and different loops for different theming and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very interesting and very crazy because one goes down, the whole thing, and everybody starts going crazy and trying to fix it. Because you'll have somebody complain, you know. So,
absolutely.
Now, is this COVID thing sort of messing up deals with you, or is it helping you, or is it bringing you back, or what's going on with that?
I think it's, you know, stalled a lot of productions during the past year. You know, it's hard. I'm assuming it's hard to get people together and feel where they feel comfortable being in close proximity to one another.
Right.
You know, especially when it comes to, like, you know, the craft services table, or, you know, dining together. That's got to be a challenge. But you know, on the post-production side, it's, you know, it's business as usual in that you can usually edit, you know, with a small amount of people, or you know, do that kind of work in a solitary environment. So it's that part hasn't affected me much.
No, okay. Yeah, because I know they laid off a lot of people, especially through Hollywood, and you know, even here in Florida, they laid off quite a few thousand people. You know, at can't think of the place in Sarasota. They laid off about 300 people over there.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's the one where all the ice shows come out of, and the monster truck shows. You know.
Oh yeah.
Felt Entertainment.
Yeah, who owned Ringling Brothers.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever happened to that? Did that just officially just shut down, or?
Yeah, there was that whole thing with the elephants, and you know, and then I think the bigger matter was how much money it took to transport all the animals and the personnel from city to city. I think that really kind of did them in. But I would love to see the circus make a return to all the cities. That's what I grew up with.
I like the circus, to be honest with you. It's I was looking at the rigging and stuff like that, and you know how the lighting looks and stuff, you know, all that stuff like that. So,
well, that's right up your alley, because you mentioned you worked at Busch Gardens.
Yeah,
stage, how to set up a stage.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can build you a stage scaffolding, and you know, put up all your lights or whatever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
that's a talent. That's a big necessary talent.
It is. So what so you mentioned you were a prop builder, right?
I built a few props, although I wouldn't classify myself as my main type of you know, creative title in a film. Okay. But I know prop builders. You know, I know a lot of them, and I love that part of filmmaking. I love, you know, making props and designing sets, and I really work well with those departments.
that's really cool because that's what I do as well. I build props for
Oh, wow. Okay.
local. Yeah, so I'm an all around guy. But yeah, that's what I do, and it's interesting to talk to, again, people like you and people like Rick that do these independent films and make the props and stuff like that, because it's very refreshing, to bounce ideas off of people, like that, So, but yeah, man, it's really cool. It's really cool to talk to somebody with such, you've got such a long, career history. You've done so much.
I've got to say it's yes, it's been fun. It's been varied. I've done, I've produced magic shows even. I never thought I'd do something like that, but sure enough, we did. And working with Rick, I'm very close with Rick.
Yeah.
And he's invited me into a lot of different projects, which have been great. The Halloween Horror Picture Show, working different film festivals with him, and he and I go back a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have sort of that fame and fortune where people come up to you and start like, hey, let me get a picture of you, let me have your autograph?
I wouldn't say it's fame. I just think when they know you're associated with a movie, they, people just want to kind of, say, hey, well, I met a person who was involved in this project.
Right.
I do the same thing with other people. I'm a fan. I met people who are production assistants, and I get their autograph.
Right.
Because they're associated with a film that I like, maybe from the 80s. And even if they had a small part in it, I'll kind of admire that and want to hear more about it.
And see, that's so cool, because that's the same thing when I do. I mean, I've met a lot of, like I said, a lot of different celebrities like you have, and I'm more concerned about the backstage part of it. That's so cool. It's very interesting to meet somebody that has the same liking, just like Rick Danford. I mean, Rick, you've been quiet all this time. What's going on? You got any questions or what?
No, I was just enjoying the stories and stuff and listening to Andy.
Man.
Yeah, it's good that you guys are connected like that. I mean, I didn't know you guys had so much in common and work for the same stuff. That was pretty cool.
The hamsters are turning. What's going on?
What's happening here?
That's what that's the problem, Andy, is that the hamsters, right? We have hamsters sort of control our satellites, and since I have to broadcast here I'm in a 25-foot bunker, because I don't want the zombies to come get me, So I'm in here and we're broadcasting to Rick. Rick's in a via satellite in his LA bunker or whatever he's at, So we're trying to get all the Zoom stuff taken care of. So I've got to feed the hamsters and get them motivated to push on,
Oh, so, what were those things called back in the 70s? Habit trails the hamsters would run through.
Oh yeah, with the tubes and everything.
Yeah, the tubes. That was great. Oh, we love those.
Yeah, that was great. That was man. I was just thinking that the things that come out in this generation, if that were the time where in our generation, that would be so much better, I think. Does that make sense?
I got to go feed my sea monkeys right now.
Yeah. that was the top toys. I got to feed my sea monkeys, So I actually stepped into, I don't know if you guys, and all right, this might sound a little bit childish, and I'm sorry, but
Here we go.
Legos, you guys into Legos?
I played with them before. I've seen them. I know there's a show on TV that these guys make some ridiculous freaking things with Legos. But
my son collects them and he likes them. Plays
all
with
right.
them.
So I popped into the Lego store at the mall in Brandon, right, and just to see what's up, and they had a Nintendo Lego set for like an NES Nintendo set. Yeah. Yep. That's my.
With Mario and all those characters.
Yeah, where the TV is, and the TV, back screen turns, and Mario hops up and down, So, sorry, that's my inner nerd coming out sometimes. So,
That's okay.
No, it usually doesn't happen on the Bull the Bartender show, but goddamn it, Rick Danford and Andy Lalino brought it out.
That's it. Getting you to revert back to your kid days.
Yeah. It's not about me, it's about Andy. So, but yeah, I used to, I did a radio show at USF back in the day before I did, my 4 year at the radio station. You know.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was. I don't know. I don't know how far back you go, but I want to say this was, 2010, 2012, something like that, and it was called. What's it called? Man, I can't think what it's called now, but it was had Hitman, it was Yeti, and then I think it was some other guy that I can't remember his name. But we did like a 2-hour show, I think, on Fridays. I think it was over there at the USF radio studios.
Oh, very neat.
So it was a fun time. We kind of got in trouble a couple times. We did a couple stunts that weren't really, to their liking, But I don't know if you worked directly for the USF, radio studios over there.
Now you're talking about the Bulls?
Yeah, the Bulls one.
Okay. I would go over there every once in a while.
Okay.
To kind of, check them out. I was actually with the TV station for a long time before they went off the air in 2017.
Yeah. Okay. The WUSF.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's so cool because it's that was sort of like a community type of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
a community
like
broadcast.
More like a PBS type of station where a lot of the programming came from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It was kind of canned shows, but people around here, they really liked what it offered, and but with Channel 3 kind of doing WEDU kind of doing the same thing. Was there room enough for both stations? Who knows? We'll never know. But it was a good experience. While we had a kid station, a WSF kid station that I have a young son, and he kind of grew up with that, and I was kind of lucky enough to be working for a kids station that my son could enjoy, and he was even part of it. He was in promos and things that we did for WSF Kids, so that was a great experience.
Yeah, I remember that too. WUSF Kids.
Yeah.
That was a popular kids channel.
Absolutely.
I saw a video of you. It was from 10/30/14 from Tampa's Film History, with Andy Lalino, and I believe it was the host is I can't think of the guy's name, but I'm terrible with names. But I've seen him before. He does the Tampa History Show, or he used to.
Scream at the Wall, by any chance?
Maybe it just does. It's very vague on the title. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
And what isn't local, will come in here. I mean, John Travolta just lives in Ocala, so he's a state resident. He's right up the street. Yes. It's happening, people. It's happening. Let's take a caller. Let's go to 4.
I think that's like a Halloween episode.
Question for you.
Oh yeah, that's Tampa Natives.
Yeah, Tampa Natives. Yeah, man, I can't believe I messed up that guy's name. But yeah, Tampa Natives. But you're right. How was that show?
That was a lot of fun. That was I remember that was over at University Mall. They had a cable access studio for Hillsborough County type of cable access programming, and I got to meet the Tampa Natives guys. They were very accommodating. It was very friendly. People would call in with questions live as we were doing it, kind of like this type of great radio format. And I can't say enough good things about it.
That's cool, man. It's I've talked with the guy. I met him in person one time. He's a really cool guy. He was doing the I think it was the West Tampa Cuban Sandwich Festival, I think it was, or something like that, over there at McFarland Park. And he was out there, kind of doing promoting a show and stuff like that. Really good guy. So
Yeah, I mean, if you like the history of Tampa Bay and interesting tidbits about it, that's a great resource. I encourage people who like history, who like pop culture, who like, kind of even the underground, like, just little, like Dr. Paul Bearer, if anybody remembers him and they like that old time TV or whatever, tune into that or check out some of the older shows.
Yeah, Dr. Paul Bearer was really cool. He was an icon on UPN. It was before UPN. It was just 44, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah, 44. Mm-hmm. It was like 44, then UPN 44, then UPN, and oh man, it was just so many freaking call letters. I was like, really? Come on, get it straight.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When they changed, when they changed all the call letters back in, I think it was like 1988.
Right.
I could never remember them. I just to this day, I still think of channel 8, 10, and 13, and 44, and 20, channel 28.
Yeah,
that's what's stuck in my memory.
That's what with me. It's and then they took away all the UHF channels, so now on the cable box you have a different channel for what you're used to. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, like Rick and I talk about this a lot, is you just don't have shows like Creature Feature anymore with local horror hosts or local comedians who can kind of come on local airwaves, local TV stations and do their shtick and do a funny local show that people, and not only did they do their show on TV or radio, they go to events and they get all the kids from the area to show up at these events and want to see them and get their autograph. I can't even tell you how many times I saw Dr. Paul Bearer back in the day, just swamped by just throngs of kids and admirers.
Right. Just admiring Dr. Paul Bearer for who he is or who he was.
Yeah. Well, that's because, like you said, that was the local show. That was the Channel 44 Creature Feature. I think wasn't it based out of Clearwater or something, Andy?
Well, I think Dick Bennick lived in like the Winter Park / Lakeland area, but he commuted, I think to either Tampa or St. Pete to record the shows. Right. And I think he recorded a lot of them at one time over the many years, from like 73 to 94. And yeah, he did live appearances, the TV shows. He did Fright Theater at night. I mean, he was, I think for a time before Svengoolie, he had the record for being the longest running horror host on TV.
Did he retire from it or just sort of? I thought he passed away, didn't he?
He did pass away in 1995, but he was on TV I think in 94 before he, his health got affected.
Yeah, I mean that's it was a sad time when you heard about that.
It certainly was. It was horrible.
Now, I mean, how did you know so much about him?
Well, as I said earlier, I really credit him with giving me my interest in horror films and science fiction and sword and sorcery, that type of genre for a lot of people my age and a little bit younger and a little bit older. I mean, that all kind of clicked, through our horror hosts and our local areas, and that was the case for me. I just thought he had his puns were funny. His costume was outrageous, and some of the skits that he did with the Miss Invisible Woman beauty contest and poisoning pigeons in the park and that type of thing were just really, really connected with kids.
Oh yeah. And it wasn't even scary at all. It wasn't like, he was trying to be like over the top scary or nothing like that,
No, it was more campy.
Yeah, it was more campy. It was more, tongue in cheek. And, I mean, I don't think if they did something like that in our generation right now or this generation in 2020, I don't think it would sit well with a lot of people.
Well, they have horror hosts and stuff like that now. I mean, we had Elvira for a while. Going up now, I think Joe Bob Briggs still does a horror hosting show on Netflix or something.
For Shudder.
For Shudder.
For Shudder. Okay.
So he still does the drive-in thing.
All right.
They're still there, but just not. But I think what Andy was talking about is just the fact that Dick was kind of like he was our own.
Yeah.
It was produced here, and he was in Florida, and we could go out and see him and talk to him. So it was kind of like a homegrown thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Very cool. I know you're like an editor as well, right?
Yes, I'm interested in like almost all aspects of filmmaking, and editing is like one of the newer techniques that I've learned over the past few years, and I really enjoy it.
All right.
Well,
What?
not all aspects. Let's let's make sure we understand it. Okay, not all aspects.
What do you mean by what do you mean by all aspects? I mean, what's going on with
Well,
that? I mean, why did we put the brakes on that?
yeah, well, it's just I knew I was going to come to. I had to find some segue eventually, but Andy is he's kind of like a film historian. Okay, I mean the
Okay.
guy knows pretty much anything and everything about the old school stuff. But Andy's film knowledge pretty much died in 1983, and he lives in his bunker now and doesn't watch anything that wasn't produced outside of 1983 or comes
What?
across
Ho-
his antenna.
So hold on. You don't watch anything past 1983.
Well, that Rick says that, and it's funny. We kind of joke around with it, but by and large, that's actually true. Although what I will say is I do watch independent films that mostly horror films that I think really have that really have a heart. They really harken back to those days of grindhouse
Right.
filmmaking, kind of what I call the great
Slasher.
grindhouse, the slasher era.
Right.
Even before that, even the Universal monsters, the silent films, they pay homage to that. It's very common in the horror genre to encounter filmmakers, and Rick is one of these who harken back to those days and have a healthy respect for those analog days of the 20th century.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Well, basically, where Andy and I kind of separate here, basically, is that we have the same roots. We grew up in the same era. We enjoy the same old school grindhouse stuff like that. But then, I also have an open mind to the future. I don't have a problem with CGI if it's done well. I don't have a problem if somebody's going to remake a movie. Like one of our big things that we get into all the time is Mad Max.
Yeah.
Fury Road. One of my favorite movies is Fury Road, and it's made by the same writer, the same director, and everything. The only difference is it doesn't have Mel Gibson because Mel Gibson's 110 years old, so they got Tom Hardy.
True.
But it was an absolutely great flick, and Andy will battle me left and right that I shouldn't even be watching this trash. Mad Max is not meant for this generation. Give me a break. Fury Road was brilliant, and the thing that I tell him about is that at the end of the day, my daughter, okay, is 23 years old, okay? She wasn't really around with the original Mad Max, okay?
Yeah.
She had no interest whatsoever in seeing Mad Max or Road Warrior, those things that we loved as much as we did because that was our time back then. But because of Fury Road and her watching Fury Road and seeing it and enjoying it, she actually asked me, can I go see the other ones? Because she wanted to see where Mad Max came from and learn more about it.
Right, they'll build up.
But Andy gets very, very upset with stuff like that. He doesn't think that we should have anything made that isn't done with without CGI, and everything needs to be old school and no more digital work whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, off to the loony bin with you, sir.
This is a clip of Mad Max Fury Road 2015.
Here's Andy.
Listen, this is sort of practical effects right here, I think. A lot of this.
That's what I try to tell him. The filmmaker said he stressed it that he did not want to use CGI unless they absolutely had to. And a lot of the CGI they used, if any of it, was basically like the background, like the storms and stuff in the background.
Right.
All the other stuff, the car crashes, even the guys that were pole vaulting between the cars and everything, those were all actual actors and actual stuntmen. It was amazing.
I mean, I've never watched this one. I've seen the older ones, but I've never watched these.
But let me ask you this: would you be willing to watch it with an open mind?
Oh, of course, right. I mean,
well, that's where you and Andy completely separate.
Why?
Andy would rather yell about it and talk about it and put it down, but never watch a frame of it.
Why wouldn't you?
There we go. It's on now.
Well, I'm gonna, Rick and I have discussed this ad nauseum over the years, and the first thing I'm going to say is you cannot have a Mad Max movie without Mel Gibson. That's period. You cannot make another Mad Max movie and not have him in it as Max. It's just, it doesn't work for me. That I can't handle a replacement in that role.
All right.
So you can't have a
hold
James
on.
Bond movie without, go ahead.
Okay. I'll give him that. Okay, because
Whoa.
no,
You
no,
can't
no.
give him that.
Hold on. Because, and I give him that to say this, right? Batman, okay, the original Batman, okay. They skip from Michael Keaton, which is a great Batman. All the rest of them were horrible. You know, they should have kept the same Michael Keaton. So I agree with him with that. Okay.
Well, you can't, because you're already wrong right there, because Michael Keaton wasn't the original Batman. Go ahead, tell him, Andy.
Are you talking about Adam West?
Adam West.
I'm talking about the motion picture Batman.
So we're going to separate it that way. Well, the way I look at it, let's jump back to Mad Max just for a second.
Okay.
First off, you can't put an actor to a particular role and say that you could never do anything more because this particular actor. That didn't happen with James Bond. There's been several different James Bonds. Plus also,
I can say the same thing about James Bond that I would say about Mad Max, Rick.
Well, you can't. You can't say that Sean Connery is the only James Bond, because, I mean, there's been several of them that Roger Moore was a halfway decent James Bond until he got silly.
I like Timothy Dalton, but that's kind of where it ends.
Oh, well, you see, look at that. That's well after. So what I'm saying is Mad Max is the creation of George Miller. He's the one that wrote it. He's the one that directed it. He is Mad Max to me. And he's the one that wrote and directed Fury Road. And even Mel Gibson saw Fury Road and loved it.
Uh-huh.
So if it's okay with Mel Gibson to do it, I don't understand why it's not okay with Andy.
Well, Matt, can I tell you one thing? Is that I didn't like the Thunderdome movie, the third movie. I've actually never seen it. I've tried to watch, I think, the beginning of it, and I just kind of lost interest. When it comes to the Mad Max and the Road Warrior movies, I just like the first two. They were both brilliant. For some reason, it went off track in 1985 with the Thunderdome, and I understand some people like Thunderdome. I'm not one of them. Rick might like it. I'm not sure. But I go back to my point.
If I was to rank the top three, there'd be Road Warrior, Mad Max, and then Thunderdome. It was definitely not in the top three, obviously, of the three. So it was the worst one. I don't think it was a horrible movie. I enjoyed it. It was okay. But it's not one that if I decide to go back and watch Mad Max, that I'll be watching that one. No.
It just, the clips I've seen from it looks very phony, with some of the dialogue. It looks very staged, whereas, the first two movies are very visceral and exciting.
You do realize that the script or the audio for the vocals, right? They are vocal. I mean, they're all tracked afterwards. They're recorded in a studio afterwards.
Oh, you're talking about the Mad Max movies?
Yeah. So what you're seeing is like, if, and I don't know if they use like digital imagery on the faces or not, right, to kind of define them talking as they're flying across the camera lens, but most movies at the end, when they get done filming, they'll actually play the movie and they'll record the audio back on the movie.
ADR.
What's that?
You're talking about ADR.
Yeah, the post audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's not done all the time, but that's done sometimes, especially with those outdoor movies, I think, because of the background noises and stuff like that. But I mean, for the most part, I think they film a lot of the audio live.
Well, they couldn't, because you couldn't hear the people talking.
You mean over the cars and everything else?
Yeah.
What you're saying?
Well, in the case of Mad Max, that was, I think, totally redubbed for American audiences.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, I think, was, I'm not sure how many of the other actors, but I think Mel probably dubbed in his own lines for that. Maybe just kind of tried to, ease up on the Australian accent. But, Rick, you and Rick might disagree with me about this, but I actually like the dub version of Mad Max better. I've seen both. I've seen the, Australian accent version.
I didn't know he was Australian.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, he's from the down under, huh?
Oh, yeah.
The original Mad Max, I remember, kind of to touch on what Andy was saying, that was the big thing, is that was Mel Gibson's first film for the most part, and he had a really heavy Australian accent, so they had to redub it, for American audiences so we can understand what the heck he was talking about.
Oh, really?
Obviously,
He was talking gibberish.
well, you could understand it if you really. It's kind of almost like a Cockney type thing, but it wasn't. It was Australia, but it was hard to understand.
Right, right.
So, but in Road Warrior, I mean, that was all pretty much just Mel.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I didn't. It's been such years since I've seen Mad Max, like the original one.
Yeah, I think it was more so Mad Max that they're really dubbed.
Yeah.
Dubbed over. Road Warrior maybe not so much.
Okay, so Andy, you have a problem with the special effects, right? Is that the deal?
Among other things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try this movie. How about Matrix?
Nope, he won't watch it.
No.
You won't watch Matrix?
Nope.
What's wrong with Matrix?
He'll insult it, but he won't actually give it the time of day to actually watch it.
I've actually seen the original.
What?
Here's my beef. Is it was the whole digital divide. I call it the digital divide. The analog years versus the digital years. The computer, the advent of the computer, using a computer as a visual tool in filmmaking. I gave it a chance. Back in when it kind of creeped into movies in 1989 with The Abyss, even before then, like Tron and Starfighter. And I gave it a chance throughout the 90s and into the 2000s. And I finally said to myself around 2009, 2010, is like, really, do I want to watch reboot after reboot? Do I really want to watch all these, like no more analog special effects, no more cell animation? Is that what I really want for myself as a consumer of cinema? And I said to myself, no, I've had enough. I don't want a future full of that. I like the way things were. I like watching the Bugs Bunny cartoons by hand drawn, hand painted by artists. I like stop motion animation. I like special makeup effects. I used to like to read about who those people were, what they were like. Rick Baker, Tom Savini, all those guys, Ray Harryhausen, Paul Blaisdell. That was part of the fun, is learning about them as special effects artists and technicians. And now that's kind of all gone. You just kind of envision just a bunch of, literally hundreds of people on computers trying to manipulate these images so they're as dazzling as possible.
It's still a gift. It's still an art form, just a different version of it. At the end of the day, he won't watch Jurassic Park or anything like that. Won't even give it the time of day.
Oh,
nope.
Come on.
Nothing to do with it.
No.
He said it's all garbage. He'd rather watch the old 1931 King Kong, where you could see that the thing was a doll, and have no problem with it, over watching something like Jurassic Park.
Don't get me wrong; those are classics, especially.
Well, careful, he might hang up on you now, Bull.
What? Well, no, I'm talking about the King Kongs. Those are classics.
Yeah. I still love them myself. I'm looking at my King Kong model right now. That's the beauty
Easy there,
of it.
bud.
That's the thing that Andy can't quite grasp. Okay,
right?
He gets upset at me something because I'll go back and I'll watch the original King Kong. I'll watch the 1977 or 79 version of King Kong from Dino De Laurentiis or whatever,
26.
and love it. Okay, love it. Okay, but then I can still go and watch the Peter Jackson King Kong, or I can still go and watch the new Godzilla, but yet go back and watch the old. I'm a lover of film. Now, there's a lot of garbage remakes out there that come out that, to me, are obviously just a complete money grab, or have garbage CGI, or they have no heart or soul, like Poltergeist. I was a huge fan of the original Poltergeist, okay? They came out with a remake of that, and that was the biggest waste of time ever. But I gave it the time of day.
Yeah, I agree.
It was garbage, got rid of it. I'll never watch it again, okay? But that's the thing that Andy won't do. He won't, because he's seen a couple that bothered him or whatever it is, he turns everything off. He won't even give Fury Road a chance. He won't even give it a chance and look at it. It won't happen. And that's the part that I can't understand.
Rick, don't you agree that there are way too many reboots?
Oh, yeah.
You send them to me almost every day. You send me and I get it. You're trying to get my goat and trying to get and everything.
But understand something. With regards to Hollywood, Hollywood is a money-making machine. They're all about making money. The reason they do reboots and the reason they do remakes is because they're doing it over a particular property that has a built-in fan base. So they know they're going to have word of mouth. They know they're going to have that built-in fan base that's going to want to give it the benefit of the doubt and watch it. So they're going to have an advantage over bringing something new and original to the table. It's a little quick, easier buck. Now, if they could actually do their homework and create something worthwhile and do something original with this old stuff, then that's where they really get something special, and they're going to get a lot of the return on investment. But unfortunately, more often than not, it's all cookie cutter stuff. They're just getting something like, okay, here's a title that people still remember that'll be able to get, like Friday the 13th. Let's do number 27. We're not going to add anything new to it. It's just Jason. It's Friday the 13th. Slap it on there, put it out there, and make our money. That's it. And I admit, there's a lot of that garbage out there, but I'm willing to give it a shot. If it's no good, I get rid of it. Like I was telling him about Mad Max, okay? If Mad Max is garbage, I get rid of it. It doesn't affect how I feel about the original Mad Max movies whatsoever. Like, let me give you a better example. Planet of the Apes. I grew up a huge Planet of the Apes fan, the originals. When I was a kid, my parents, one of my best Christmas gifts I ever got was the Planet of the Apes jungle set, the toy set with the dolls and everything, man. I loved it. I grew up with the first original 5 movies. I even watched the TV series back in the 70s and 80s. Loved it, okay? But these new films that came out, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and Dawn, and then War of the Planet of the Apes. To me, War of the Planet of the Apes is one of the best films ever. It was brilliant. The apes looked amazing. The story was great, and it fit right in, okay? But those movies, even though they were as good as they were, and I loved them as much as I did, they don't taint my thoughts of the original movies. They don't make me want to take my original movies and throw them out or donate them to charity. I still love those movies, still go back and look at them. This just adds to it. Whereas Poltergeist, which was garbage, that didn't taint my thoughts of the original Poltergeist. I just watched it one time, never will watch it again, and still love the original. But Andy feels that by making these reboots and these remakes, you're actually tainting the original product and lessening it somehow. And I've never been able to understand that.
Andy, I just want to say I do apologize for Rick Danford's passive-aggressive mood. He's a shot out of a cannon, and he's like a wild dog. You know, sometimes you got to pull back on the leash. You know.
I apologize, Andrew.
Andrew, wow.
I apologize. I will let you have the floor.
No, I mean, listen, I don't want to, let our guests know that, hey, look, one of our co-hosts just laid down the law. So sorry.
But Andy and I go way back. He knows that I still love him to death no matter what. No matter how much we go back and forth like this, there's never a bad word between us. And I mean, Andy's like a brother to me, and that's the way it always will be.
I feel like it's a presidential debate. Can't get a word in edgewise on my own show.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
That's okay. See, that's the problem. I rib Rick, and he goes, okay, all right, you got the floor. No problems. Like, no, I want it back. I wanted, to give it back. So let me ask you this, Andy. Just out of curiosity, would you want to say who you voted for? May I ask that? Is that okay? Just out of curiosity.
I'm going to stay neutral.
Okay.
On that,
yeah.
On that type of question.
I got you. Nah, because I was just curious because sometimes we talk about that, and I didn't know. I didn't know what you believed in. As this, the guy that's done so many things and knowledgeable about so many entertainment parts and pieces.
Well, I will say, like, Rick's kind of painted me in the right way. I have a healthy respect for the 20th century. I just really think, like, the analog artists, using real film and, using optical special effects techniques and actually sculpting, model making, hand painting like the Bugs Bunny or the Woody Woodpecker cartoons. They had to do that, frame by frame and, actually paint on acetate and, what Disney did back in the day. I just think, and, not only that, but Rick and I talk about this, it's beyond just making the movie. It's the movie poster, when the movie posters were hand illustrated by by graphic artists who were just absolute craftsmen, who just really knew how to capture, and not just movies, but novels back in the day, like paperback novels, hardback novels, comic books, advertisements. I just really love that era, just the whole look, the illustration of that era. That's all wiped out. It's completely gone. And almost every DVD you see now is a photo, and it's photoshopped. It's all digital.
Oh yeah.
They use a lot of stock images. You see the same cover kind of over and over again.
I remember when people thought that DVDs were going to be the scariest thing alive. When they came out, and they were like, everybody was freaking out.
They did the same thing with CDs. Remember when CDs came out? That's it. We're never going to see albums anymore.
Yeah.
We're never going to see 45s anymore. Yeah. What was it? Last year, I think it was. They said albums actually outsold DVDs last year. They're still there. They're retro now.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just love that. I love that physical media. I like drive-ins. I like anything that harkens back to
that old nostalgia.
Yeah, the nostalgia. It's just something we should never let go of and always appreciate, because if we don't, we're gonna get stuck with reboots and computer graphics for the rest of our lives. That's the way it's kind of heading.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really think we need, and beyond that, beyond just the special effects, you need filmmakers who understand. That's a commodity in itself. Those people who understand, and Rick is like this when he does his, No Sleep Tonight, the radio show, and his independent films. He does have that. It's definitely within him. I'm not gonna, even though we're at odds on certain topics, he's got that in his blood.
Right.
And Matt, you probably do too. And it's just in our blood to kind of take that, we need to take the torch and keep it lit for, the future generations, and have that, they really need to appreciate that old school showmanship.
Well, that's where I'll agree with you. I agree that we should always remain, loyal to where we came from. We should always have that in our DNA, because that's what made us who we are today. What I'm saying is that I'm also okay with growing. I mean, at the end of the day, just like we just mentioned Jurassic Park, you need CGI to create Jurassic Park, because to make it look the way it does, there are no dinosaurs out there that we can get in here and train them to be in these movies. It's got to be Jurassic Park. It's got to be CGI.
They did that same thing in 1925 with The Lost World. I mean,
I know, and it looks terrible now. Back then in the day, I remember hearing the stories about the 1931 King Kong that looks like a doll today. But back in those days, I remember hearing stories about people passing out in the theaters and stuff because, oh my God, how scary it looked and how realistic it looked. I remember those stories. But at the end of the day, nowadays, people would laugh about it because it doesn't look realistic anymore. It's just called progress. That's all. But you can't tell me that those dinosaurs in Jurassic Park didn't look amazing.
Well, in my opinion, when change is encountered, some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it. I mean, Hitler was change. But Hitler was no good. That should not have been a change. I'm just saying that,
Jurassic Park
if you're a cult, if you are, I'm just saying, I'm talking about
he compared Jurassic Park to Hitler.
Wow.
Well,
I understand what you mean about change. That's true, but that's going a little off the rails there. What I'm saying,
I mean, were the dinosaurs the stormtroopers?
What I'm saying is that, if you're a cult movie fan, if you like midnight movies, if you like underground films, if you like cult classics, if you like Dr. Paul Bearer's Creature Feature,
which I do,
if you like film theory, cinema, that makes you a certain kind of person, and you need to, in my opinion, you need to stay loyal to that type of entertainment.
See, that's where we disagree.
Those kind of techniques.
I agree with keeping the fires burning, and I agree with making sure that the next generation remembers the old generation. I'm all for that. I'm just not for.
You're happy with the status quo. You're happy with the status quo where there are no, monster magazines anymore. There are no hand illustrated posters by art.
That's not true at all. I love Pangolin magazines.
Those positions are going out of business. The special effects guys are all wiped out almost overnight. When computers came on the picture.
That's not true. I'm a writer, as you know, okay? And I think you've read my script Lycanthrope, which is about a werewolf, okay? And I've told you even recently that should I ever get the opportunity to make that movie, that has to be what do you call it? An actual creature that we create. There's no way that CGI has gotten to the point where they could make that werewolf look real. Now, as far as dinosaurs or Star Wars or things like that, I think they've surpassed it and they look amazing. The new Star Wars, like The Mandalorian, is an amazing show. And you would even appreciate that because The Mandalorian is basically a throwback show to the original Star Wars. Same types of characters, same settings and everything. It's brilliant. But you won't even give it the time of day because it wasn't made in 1983.
Well, and another thing is I'm not a subscriber to what you subscribe to, and I wouldn't choose to even do that.
So there's that.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Well, Andy, thank you so much, my friend, for joining our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I've been too long-winded with you or, anything else. But thank you, my friend, for joining.
Thank you as well.
All right. Please, if you ever want to join the show, promote anything, do you have like a .com or?
I don't. I would just say try. If everybody out there wants to check out any of the films, Nation's Fire, The Uh-Oh Show, Brain Jacked, Filthy, they're out there.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate it. And like I said, if you want to come on the show anytime, just let us know. So, all right.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
I'm a man. We'll see you soon. Angela Lane for you. Thank you so much, Rick Danford, for pulling that off.
You got it. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. He's a great writer, very talented guy. I mean, we joke back and forth. It's joking for the most part because we both agree with it. But like I said, I love and respect the guy to death.
Oh yeah, he's a really good guy.
He really is.
I like the way we sort of kind of mellowed off and talked about production and entertainment and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a wealth of information with stuff like that because he grew up during all that. He's an amazing director. I got to definitely try and get you a copy of that Filthy short film because it was a really good. He wrote and directed it, and it does a really good short film. Won a lot of awards, played a lot around here. So I'll make sure you get a copy of that.
Absolutely.
But your homework is to watch Mad Max Fury Road, and you let me know what you think.
All right, I'll watch that here this weekend over the Thanksgiving break. I'll watch it. How about that?
Sounds good.
I'm a man. Just stay with us, Rick. Don't go anywhere. We got one more segment, and then when we come back, Matt the Savior is going to join us back, and hopefully the program that I'm using to broadcast will come back. I've got a blank screen over here, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Bull and the Bartender Show. I think one of the hamsters went down. Back in a minute. Don't go away.